Thank you. All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order. This is the Tuesday, April 23rd Select Board meeting. And we have just a very short agenda tonight. So open the meeting, first item. And the second meeting is the annual town meeting warrant article recommendations. So do we have, I don't know if Greg, you're in a position to walk us through, or if we.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do it. So like I said, I'll stick to the articles that are the board's articles. So the first one is just the standard article concerning article number 1, motions ruled out of order if they don't have an item of dollar associated with it. So I'm presuming that, I don't know if this is perfunctory or it's a new article, but it's your article, so you can feel free to make a recommendation.
Yeah, this is standard.
Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so I mean, yeah, now I don't recall. Do we usually sort of vote like as a lump about these? Anyone recall?
Honestly, I don't really remember there's ever a formal vote.
Okay.
But you could vote them all.
Right.
As, you know, we support all 36.
Right.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, mostly we're concerned with the financial articles. Correct. Okay. All right.
Okay, so then article number 3, which is the bill of a prior year, the amount is $20,487. The source of funds is free cash.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
Nope.
Okay. Article 4 is the omnibus budget. That was the article that the board voted to endorse at the last meeting. The amount is $23,988.88, and the amount of money is raise and appropriate, which is pretty standard. That includes all of our money that comes in from local receipts, state aid, and such. It's all raise and appropriate at this point, and there've been no changes since the last time the board met to review the budget.
Okay.
Thank you.
Article 6. Article 6 is the Board of Assessors cyclical inspection program. The amount that was budgeted and reserved for this is $10,100. It's raise and appropriate, so it was included within the funding plan early on. And the finance department did set aside money to be able to do this.
Okay.
Article 7 is the revaluation, the update. The amount is $19,800, and again, the source of funds is raise and appropriate. Article 8 is transfer from free cash $3,500 for matching state and federal grants that the police department has. It was an amount that the chief of police, let's see, I think he had actually gotten in touch with me about this one. Bear with me for a second. Let's see, give me a second. Yeah, so Article 8, I put down $3,500, but since I put it down earlier in today, the chief did get back to me and indicated the amount under Article number 8 would be $5,000. So scratch the $3,500 and replace that with $5,000. And again, free cash is the source of funds. Article number 9 is the funding of the opioid settlement money. So it's money that comes in from the drug companies as part of litigation, and it goes back to the police department to allocate it toward community programs. So it's not a raise and appropriate or transfer from free cash. It's a $7,500 transfer from the settlement proceeds. Mm-hmm. Article number 10, I understand that this is for the current fiscal year and not for the upcoming year. So I don't have a recommendation to make because I misunderstood the intent of the article. But clearly, if it's for this fiscal year, we don't want to pass it over. We want to wait for the Finance Committee to determine what the amount is that would be necessary under Article 10. Any questions on that one?
Hey, Greg, did Jody have after all these recommendations were made, did Jody give you a balance of free cash?
Yeah, so we're going into town meeting with $376,762.03 in free cash. I didn't do the math in terms of what we leave town meeting with, but the amount of and I can do that when I get in the office tomorrow, but the amount of free cash, needless to say, doesn't get anywhere near the available
Right.
balance. So we'll be closing the year with a positive balance in free cash.
So this Article 10 was the one we added late in the process. We said, well, just in case we need funds between now and the end of the fiscal year, as we put in FinCom reserve, then we can access it without, town vote. So it's really an emergency fund. We hadn't talked about amount. Mike kind of was indicating I think he was going to look to move a lot of free cash in there. I was thinking like 50,000 just to park it. But Greg, to your point, maybe we just have FinCom come up with a number. I just want to make sure that the balance was safe if we said 50,000.
I think your plan is a good plan, because if it's not needed, then it's going to roll back into free cash anyway.
And FinCom had said, I believe last week, that they have 22 or 26, somewhere in the mid-20s in their current accounts. So that, or maybe that's the amount. Just that's such an odd amount. It sounds so familiar to last week.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think their 20 was their annual budgeted amount, just like it is next budget. I don't think they've spent any. All we want to do here is just beef it up. And Mike would probably say, well, we normally do this in fall STM. So they start with 25, then we give them more supplemented in the fall, but we never did that this past fall. I just want to get through the next 60 days without any problems if something pops up.
Okay.
And
that makes sense.
That 21,000. Okay. Let's see the rest of the CPC articles. We get down to article number 15, which is to establish an enterprise fund for municipal curbside trash collection. So all this article does is accept the section of general law that allows you to establish an enterprise fund. Article number 16 provides funding for the enterprise fund. So we anticipate that there'll be $681,200 that will be collected from user fees over the course of the fiscal year. So that's the amount that we want to target and use to seed the enterprise fund. Because if we don't do that, then otherwise they'll start the year and they don't have any money. So that's not a good plan necessarily. Article 17, this is the portion of the water enterprise fund that goes before town meeting. It is the you see all of the expenses that are here. So I put in indirect costs because originally when I saw the article, it didn't balance. The amount of receipts or revenue was greater than the amount of expenses. So the difference was by adding in the indirect costs. And it's been done in all the other communities that I've worked in the past, that the indirect costs get appropriated as part of the budget that gets approved by town meeting. I did talk to Dan Beyer. He gave me these numbers and we kind of tweaked it. The one thing is he's got an old article that he wants to use as a source of funding, 2016, article number 9. I don't know what it's about, but he can speak to that issue if there are any questions that do come up. The Article 18, re-establishment of various revolving funds. So I call this is perfunctory. This is something that's done every year. Nothing here that raises any suspicions or concerns. The funding of retirement payouts. I spoke with Jody today under Article 19, and she informs me that the amount is 35,000, not 30, and that would be a free cash transfer. And that would cover our people who are leaving service and retiring in the fiscal year. So I'm just going to make a note to change that to 35,000. Article 20, this is money that's coming from town-owned land. So long as we can identify the specific capital need in the motion, we're fine. And I depend upon the board. Mike, I understand you had some input into this article, so I don't know if you have anything that you want to add on it.
This was coming out of the capital working group where rather than using ARPA funds, we want to use the 250 supplement roads this fiscal year. So this is to supplement on top of Chapter 90, Greg, and in addition to.
It's a great idea.
For John to do his thing. And that does not include, that's on top of the 50, and we already gave an ARPA for the engineering for the culvert.
Yep.
It'll leave a balance about 150 in that land sale, which we can use for maybe supplemental paid road work next year or some other capital project.
Sounds fantastic. Article 21, that's the senior center. So the specific Mass General Law will just need to be incorporated into the motion. So it's Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 7. So that'll just be added to the motion. And what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that council has a chance to see all of the motions, but this one in particular, we want to make sure that it's right under the law. So it's 13,200,000 based upon a contingent Prop 2.5 vote that takes place after town meeting.
Yeah, I think we've all agreed on it. I know I'm in support of this, but maybe a vote in this meeting specific to this article would be good, just given this will be some, we get a question on.
Right.
Where does the board stand? Where does FinCom stand?
Yeah.
Where does everyone stand?
Right.
So
I move to support Article 21 in town meeting as a board.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Bruno's aye. Roll call.
Goddard, aye.
It's
Cooter,
a
aye.
4-0.
Chanel, aye.
Thank you.
Let's see. The article deals with the purchase and installation of a generator at the Legacy Senior Center. I wrote down amount to be determined. Since that time, I understand that the amount is $20,000. So it'd be, the funding would be through free cash.
And we talked about this a little bit. We will not pass over this article just because, if the senior center goes forward, we don't need the generator at the old building. But we also have to wait for the vote. So we'll want both to pass and then we'll just vote this money back. It's an open meeting. We're having a quick open meeting. So you guys are welcome to sit in if you'd like.
But
Yeah,
we're
there's
meeting, I know, we're meeting,
It's 6.
yeah.
We're going to be done when your meeting
Yeah.
starts.
Okay, just a few minutes.
No worries.
Okay.
I was just here to help her with the tech.
Okay.
If you can jump to Article 32, that's the next Board of Selectmen article. And that's approving the layout that the selectmen approved at its recent meeting of Pond Street. So there's no dollars involved. It just does involve gift, purchase, or taking. Just if the motion includes a taking, it needs to be done by a 2/3 vote at town meeting. So just something that I'm sure the moderator and the town clerk are aware of. Article 33 is authorization of debt for the Blackstone Valley Regional Vocational School District for their improvements that they came in and met with the board about a month ago. We're only authorizing the debt, so any future assessments will come to the town in terms of the annual Blackstone Valley Regional Tech Assessment to the town of Mendon. So we don't need to appropriate any principal and interest. We simply need to do the authorization. And then the last article, Article 34, is an article that the board has put forth concerning submission of petition articles and that they need to be submitted by a deadline prior to the closing of the warrant. And that is it.
It's well done.
Great. Thank you, Greg.
How's that for
Thank
working
you,
under the
Greg.
deadline?
Yeah, so I guess, are there any other articles that people want to vote on? I know it was good to vote about the senior center expansion. I guess, so who is passing this along to finance committee? So, Greg, is that something you're able to do?
Is that again?
So passing along these numbers to finance committee. So I guess.
Yeah, so they've got a meeting tonight.
Their meeting
Right.
tonight is to actually vote on these. So I guess we want to make sure that they have the most up-to-date numbers.
Yeah, so they received it, and what I'm going to do is after this meeting is complete, I'm going to go through and just update the numbers that have changed since I sent this document out to you today and put it in their hands for this evening.
Okay, fantastic.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Greg.
you.
You're welcome.
All right, so are there any other issues came up? Because there's nothing else on the agenda. So if we've done all the talking we need to do about the ATM warrant, then I think I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn.
Do we want to, we all fully support all the articles as written?
Oh, sure. Do we want to, do we want to have a motion about supporting the articles as written? That works.
So-
I move to support all of the articles as written and discussed.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? So we'll do a roll call vote. So all in favor, Brugos, aye.
Goddard, aye.
Hooter, aye.
Chanel, I.
All right, great. Thank you for bringing that up. And then I guess if there isn't anything else, I would be looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, further discussion. So all in favor. So Brugos, aye.
Goddard, aye.
Have a good
Cooter,
night.
aye.
Thank you.
Chanel, I.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Have a good evening.
Have a great night.
53.
Bye.
Thank
Hold on.
I'm glad I wasn't late. I mean, like, we ended up being late, but I didn't realize, I don't know, I somehow missed